All right, it has been a crazy couple of weeks. We have this correction right here from 46.07 all the way down to 44.17. That's about almost a 200 point correction, almost a 5% correction in the last couple of weeks. And this is just the SPX. If you're trading options, this is gonna be and if you're trading options, the options or the stocks that you are trading options on are more volatile than the market. And that's why they have option premium, is because the implied volatility is more than the market. So you could be down 10, 15, 20% on this correction right here, depending on what you're holding. So I think this is a perfect time to go through my portfolio rules. I run my proprietary firm like mutual funds run, like JEPI, JEPI, like JEPQ, things like that rely on premium, but are also a mutual fund or ETF. So they do have positions, but most of the yield comes from premium selling. So I'm gonna go through my rules, and it's probably gonna be a multi-video type playlist. So rule number one is diversification. You guys have heard diversification if you've been anywhere in the industry or anywhere around the industry, or you listen to CNBC or anything like that. Diversification is huge. And the reason why diversification is huge, because in downticks like this, you don't want to be all in one name or two names, because that'll completely destroy your portfolio. So what does diversification look like? Here is Warren Buffett's latest update to his portfolio. You see here, everything is very small holdings. Well, except for Apple here, that's his biggest holding, but everything else is very, very small. 1%, 2%. Here's a 3%, 2%. So if any one of these went to zero, all you would lose is that very tiny portion of his portfolio. So my rule for my specific portfolio is nothing over 4% of my portfolio. So if you have a $100,000 portfolio, that'd be 4,000. If you have 200,000, that'd be 8,000. So not any one position shouldn't be over 4%. And I hold 100 shares at a time because I trade options on them. So 100 shares, if you do the math, and 4%, which is 4,000 or 8,000 or 10,000 or whatever, that's going to be a $40 stock or less if you have 100,000, because 100 shares times $40 is 4,000. So that's where you start getting into some issues if you don't have a big enough portfolio or a big enough cash. For instance, $40 severely limits your ability to pick stocks. And so, for instance, Tesla is trading at $227. $227 times 100 is 22,000. So that's $22,000 if you did 100 shares of Tesla. Now, how big would your portfolio have to be for 22,000 to only take up 4% of your portfolio? That's the math you have to do. Now, Warren Buffett doesn't have that issue because he's got so much. But if you are running any kind of professional, if you want to be any kind of professional trader, you have to have diversification. Now, let's look at another diversification. Now, Warren Buffett here, we have no idea what his criteria is for diversification. Rest assured, he does have criteria, but I don't know what it is. He doesn't release that information. So ARK K, which is Kathy Woods, she does release that information. So let's take a look at hers. So you could tell here, hers is very similar. Tesla 10%, Roku 8%, and all the way down. Hers are in order of percentage. You see 2%, 3%, all the way down. This is all of her holdings. She's got 0.08% here. So she stays diversified as well. Let's take a look at her diversification. So here's her diversification. She has cloud computing, 15%, digital media, 13%, and all the way down. This is her criteria. Okay, the criteria that I use to stay diversified is the S&P 500. So if you look at the makeup of the S&P 500, there's going to be a portion of it that is technology. There's a percentage that's going to be, commodities. And so I try and keep that same diversification in my portfolio, so if one sector goes down, then I won't be out of luck. So rule number one is diversification. You're going to have to do some math and figure out what's your limit on position. It can't be 50% of your portfolio in one name or one sector. You have to figure that out for yourself. Like I said, mine's 4%. Anything over 4%, my portfolio I don't do. And I keep the sectors according to the S&P 500 diversification. So that's personally what I do. That's rule number one, is diversification.